Hi, I'm Melissa Livingston. I'm the playwright and the director of this staged reading and the artistic associate at Lake Dillon Theater Company. I live in Silverthorne, Colorado.
Hello, I'm Christina Schmidt, and I will be reading stage directions, and I live in Dillon, Colorado.
Hi there, I'm Rachel Dilliplane. I will be reading Blanche Russell for this reading. I live in Silverthorne, Colorado, and I'm the production manager for Lake Dillon Theater Company.
Hi, I'm Gavin Mueller. I live in Chicago, Illinois, and I will be playing Bill Russell in this stage reading.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Rowland. I am reading woman narrator Claire and Waitress, and I live in Chicago, Illinois.
Hello, I'm Tom Green. I'm in New York City at the moment, and I'm reading Mr. ZIEGFELD, the Doctor, and the Man Narrator.
House of Rocks by Melissa Livingston. The stage is mostly bare. There are several large white screens that look like the skyline of a city in shape that will be used to project images of the various locations of the play. Furniture will be added to the scenes to create the world as needed. The furniture should be kept to a minimum. Use only what is really needed. Prologue. Lights rise on the stage and the four actors enter.
It's the 1920s.
The year is 1925, to be exact.
So many things have happened and will happen this decade.
Drinking is illegal, but folks were still doing it. That law being passed opened up a whole underground industry, but that's another story.
Women got the right to vote, and there's just a different energy in the air.
My life completely changed in 1920.
My life completely changed in 1920.
Our lives completely changed in 1920.
Well, your lives started changing before 1920. In June of 1917, Bill left their hometown for Europe to fight in the Great War.
I told him I'd be waiting for him to come home. He was my childhood sweetheart and the only man I'd ever loved.
I ended up being an army cook, feeding our wounded troops.
Bill came home from the war on January 1st, 1919.
The first thing I did when I got home was hug my mama. And the second thing I did was buy a ring and drop to one knee.
Bill drops to one knee and offers Blanche his hand in marriage. We see them hug and celebrate as man and woman continue the story here.
On January 1st, 1920, Bill and Blanche got married.
I'd known Bill my whole life, and well, we just made sense.
They didn't have a honeymoon. Instead, they took everything they owned, packed it in Bill's car, and moved to New York City.
You see, I had big dreams.
And the city was the place where they could come true.
Stage goes dark. All exit the stage but Blanche. Scene 1. In the darkness, we hear the first few notes of a song. The lights rise slowly on a dancer, Blanche, in rehearsal clothes. She sings and dances.
Sunshine and shadows, I'm happy and blue. Happy when you're near me, blue when you're away. Loving you sincerely, more and more each day. Oh.
Blanche missteps in the choreography.
Oh, what happened there, doll?
I'm sorry, Mr. ZIEGFELD. I just forgot the turn.
Blanche is working with Mr. ZIEGFELD, the choreographer. She follows the choreographer practicing the choreography. After a couple of turns...
You got it now, doll?
Yes, Mr. ZIEGFELD. I'm ready to go from the top.
Great! Let's get all the way through the number this time, everyone.
The music begins. Blanche starts to dance, and then music and lights fade. Lights shift as Blanche dances off, and woman and Mr. ZIEGFELD exit. Scene 2. A man, Bill, enters the apartment. He is tired and dirty. He is dressed in work clothes from a construction job. He comes in and puts his lunch pail on the counter and sits in a chair. He removes his boots and starts to get up. but then looks around and sits back hard into the chair. He puts his elbows on his knees and face into his hands. Lights shift. Blanche enters the apartment. Bill is sleeping in the chair.
Bill, it finally happened.
She stops short, realizing Bill is asleep. Disappointment washes over her face. She crosses to Bill.
Hey, hon, I'm home.
Hi there. You home already?
I'm actually a bit late. It's 9:15.
Oh, I must have dozed off. Long day, I guess.
Did you work late?
No, normal day.
Blanche crosses to the kitchen.
Well, I'll just see what we might have for supper. I thought you might have made something.
Sorry, I'm not very hungry. Let me make you something.
Bill rises and crosses to the kitchen.
I can get something for myself.
I told you I'd have supper waiting for you, so let me figure something out.
Well, now it's 9:20 and I've been dancing all day, so I'll just have something cold or something easy.
Blanche opens the icebox for some ham and then goes to the bread box. Bill shadows her, trying to help. His movements are slow, like it's taking every effort he has. After a moment, Blanche stops and looks at Bill. He has dark circles under his eyes, and she sighs.
Bill, just stop. And sit down. You look awful.
Oh, I'm fine. Just got too much sun today. I can make you something to eat.
But he sits at the table. Blanche keeps making a sandwich.
Want to hear about my day?
Yes, of course. How was rehearsal?
I got a solo today. I'm not just a chorus girl anymore. Mr. ZIEGFELD has given me a lead role.
Blanche, that's great news. I knew he'd see how wonderful you are eventually.
Blanche crosses to Bill and takes his hand.
Bill, this is good news for both of us.
Well, of course, you're my wife, so I'm happy for your success.
It's more money, Bill. I'm getting double the pay now, so you can quit that crummy construction job and get a training spot in the kitchen. You can go back to cooking.
Those chef training jobs pay almost nothing, Blanche. I can't do that.
Yes, you can. I'll be making enough to support us both.
No.
Why not?
Blanche, I know you are a modern woman and all, and you have big dreams, and I support you working and pursuing those dreams. But I am the man of this house, and my wife will not be supporting me.
But you hate your job, Bill. You love to cook. It was what you always talked about. Someday, you wait and see, I'm going to have my very own restaurant.
That was when we were kids, Blanche.
But now you can do it.
Things are different now.
How?
That was before the war, Blanche. Nobody wants an ex-army cook in their high-class kitchen. Now, enough talking about it.
But look at you, Bill.
I'm just fine.
No, you are not.
Yes, I am.
You come home from that stupid construction job and you can hardly do anything but go to sleep.
I work hard.
I know, but you don't have to.
Said no, and that is the end of it.
That job is killing you.
I told you I am just fine. Now let it be.
Bill gets up and crosses to the chair and puts on his boots.
What are you doing?
I'm not so tired anymore. I feel like taking a walk.
Fine.
Fine.
Bill exits. Blanche sits at the table with her sandwich, but is too angry to eat.
Fine.
Lights shift to a split scene. Blanche picks at her plate. Bill is on the street. He walks to a bench and sits exhausted. He coughs and then coughs some more. He coughs into a hanky and looks at it. Concern and fear cross his face as he looks at the hanky. Then he folds it and hides it in his pocket. Lights out. Scene 3. The next day. Blanche is in her dressing room. She is in her street clothes and is removing her lipstick and talking to another dancer, Claire.
I can't believe we have our first preview in a week.
I know. It seems to be going by so fast. Just 5 weeks ago, we were nervously smoking, waiting for our audition.
I knew you would get in. I saw you warming up and you dance like a dream.
I can move, but I don't have the voice. I will forever be in the background, but you are going to become a star overnight when that first audience hears your voice.
Do you really think so?
You have the voice of an angel. Everyone's going to fall in love with you.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Hun, what's got you down?
It's nothing. I had a bit of a fight with Bill last night. Well, not really a fight, an argument. He's just so pig-headed sometimes.
What did you fight about? I figured you'd be up half the night celebrating your big break.
I told him about my new role and told him to quit his stupid construction job and apply for one of those chef training programs. And he said no.
Well, I mean, if he wants to stay in construction.
That's not it. He hates his job. I just think he doesn't believe in me enough. It's like he thinks this won't last, so he won't take the financial risk.
Well, then I think he'll be changing his mind very soon. The whole city is about to fall in love with you.
The only public place I have ever sung before is in church. I'm excited, but so nervous. I feel like everything I have ever wanted hangs on the first night. What if I mess it all up?
Oh, honey, you're going to be...
Sensational! You are sensational, doll. A real knockout.
Thanks, Mr. Ziegfeld. I really appreciate this opportunity.
You keep this up, and you're going to be a star. They're going to love you.
Thank you for the shot, Mr. Ziegfeld. Really.
I knew you had it in you. Now, I wish I'd just seen it before. Get some rest, and I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be sensational.
Good night, Mr. Ziegfeld. From his mouth to God's ears.
Blanche looks at Claire. She smiles. The smile grows. Claire takes her hands. Then Blanche squeals with delight, and Claire and Blanche hug. Light shift. Scene 4. Bill sits in a chair in his doctor's office. He coughs. After a moment, the doctor enters.
Good afternoon, Mr. Russell. How are you feeling today?
Hey, Doc. Call me Bill. I'm all right, just a bit tired.
Well, let's see if I can get you to feeling better. Any other symptoms other than being tired?
Not really. My wife thinks I've lost some weight, but, I work hard. Construction, so.
Well, are you getting enough sleep? 8 hours a night?
Yeah. I usually get a full night's sleep.
What about diet? Fruits and vegetables are important.
My folks have a farm back in Virginia. My mom sends us cans every season, so we have lots of veggies and plenty of fruits.
Is there anything else? Anything at all?
I have had a tiny bit of a cough.
A cough? How long have you had this tiny bit of a cough?
Oh, I don't know. A few months, maybe.
A few months?
Yeah, I really think it's nothing serious.
Bill covers his mouth with a hanky. Large cough, then coughing stops. Bill wipes his mouth, looks at the hanky, and hides the hanky.
Well, Bill, that cough isn't exactly tiny. Let's get started. I'm going to need to run some tests.
Sure thing, Doc.
Light shift and Bill and Doctor exit. Scene 5. Bill rushes into the apartment with flowers in one hand. He quickly tidies the room and sits at the table looking at the door. After a moment, Blanche enters.
Hi.
Blanche barely looks at Bill and rushes past him and puts her purse on the bed. Bill grabs the flowers and crosses right up behind her and drops to one knee.
Blanche, I'm an ass.
Blanche turns and sees him right next to her on one knee.
Well, we both already knew that.
But I'm your ass. If you'll still have me.
Mr. Russell, do you really think you can just get down on one knee and offer me flowers and I'll just forgive you?
Well, only if I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Then you must be the luckiest man in the whole world.
Go and put on your best dress. I'm taking my girl out tonight.
Where are we going?
Anywhere you like. I shouldn't have argued with you last night. We should have celebrated. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, Bill.
You are the most amazing woman in the world. I've always known it, and now the whole world is going to know. So put on your dancing shoes and get ready to paint the town.
Blanche crosses to Bill and takes his hands.
I think I'd rather stay in and celebrate.
Blanche kisses Bill deeply.
What do you think?
Your wish is my command.
Again and fall onto the bed in each other's arms. Lights shift. Scene 6, the doctor's office.
So that's what we know. I'm sure you need some time to let this sink in and speak to your wife.
Yeah, some time. Right.
Now, here's a copy of the test results and some information for you to read over.
Doctor hands Bill an envelope. Doctor shakes Bill's hand.
Yes, thanks, Doc.
Okay, talk it over with your wife and let me know what you decide.
Will do, Doc.
Bill turns to leave.
And Bill.
Yeah, Doc?
Soon. I expect to hear from you soon.
Bill nods the doctor and Bill exits. Lights shift. We hear the first few notes of a song and then a spot rises on stage revealing Blanche now in full costume. She sings and dances.
Sunshine and shadows, I'm happy and blue. Happy when you're near me, blue when you're away. Missing you sincerely, more and more each day. Forever and ever, I'll always be true. Through sunshine and shadows, I'll always love you.
There is a huge applause and she takes a bow. Lights and scene shift to Bill and Blanche's apartment. Bill enters and looks at the envelope in his hand. He tosses it on the bed. He sits and takes off his shoes, undoes his tie and removes his tie and unbuttons his shirt and takes off his shirt, leaving him in pants and undershirt. He crosses to the window and opens it. He breathes in deeply the cool evening air. He begins to cough and cough. It turns into a coughing fit. He closes the window, still coughing. He sits on the bed. The coughing eventually subsides. He picks up the envelope. He slides the envelope under his pillow, fluffs up the pillow, and lays back. The lights shift as Bill lies on the bed sleeping. He is reclined but propped up by several pillows so that he is not flat on his back. The door creaks open. Bill opens his eyes.
Hey.
Hey, I didn't mean to wake you.
Well, that's okay. I'm glad you're home.
How are you feeling?
You
first. No. You.
They laugh. She sits on the bed and leans in and kisses him sweetly.
The show was great. The crowd was just so amazing. My solo was perfect, and they clapped and clapped after. I felt like I was really a star or something, like light was radiating out of me. And then the rest of the show, I felt like I was walking on clouds. Even on the way home, I swear my feet didn't even touch the ground. It was magic.
Starts to dance around the room, reenacting her performance for Bill.
Sunshine and shadows, I'm happy and blue. Happy when you're near me, blue when you're away. Loving you sincerely, more and more each day.
She stops in front of him and kisses him, much more passionately this time. She sits silently, lost in the memory of her performance. He stares at her lovingly, lost in how much he loves her. The moment is broken by.
Oh, no, here, sit up.
She grabs a hanky from the bedside table and hands it to him and helps him sit forward. Bill coughs hard into the hanky and the coughing stops. He pulls the hanky away from his mouth. It is covered in blood. He tries to hide it, but Blanche sees.
What is that?
Nothing. I'm okay. It's just a bit of blood.
Just a bit of blood. It's covered in your blood. How long has this been happening? How often? How long? Tell me.
A while.
A while. What does that mean?
What does it matter? A while. It's gotten to be more recently.
You didn't tell me? Why? Why didn't you say anything?
What do you want from me, Blanche? I didn't want to worry you.
Worry me? Didn't want to worry me. Well, why would I be worried? My husband, my best friend, my heart, my world is lying here coughing up blood, and I shouldn't be worried.
She looks at him. Silence.
I'm calling the doctor.
No, don't.
Are you crazy? We are getting a doctor here and finding out what's wrong with you. You've been exhausted for weeks and you're skinny as a rail and now you're coughing up blood.
He reaches out and takes her hand. She stops and looks at him. He pulls the envelope out from under his pillow and hands it to her.
I went to the doctor a week ago when you were at rehearsal. He took an x-ray and ran some tests. I went back today and got the results.
She stares at him, then slowly takes the envelope and reads it. She drops it to the bed and stares ahead for a long beat. Bill is waiting for a response. She is in shock. Tears brim her eyes. Then suddenly she crosses the room to the record player and turns it on. As the room fills with music, she just stands and stares. After a moment, she screams and begins to sob as she drops to the floor. Bill struggles to his feet and crosses to her.
It's going to be okay. Just calm down.
He wraps his arms around her from behind her, trapping her arm at her sides. She tries to fight him at first, but he holds her tight and speaks gently into her ear.
Shh, it's okay. I love you. It's all going to be okay.
Slowly, her sobs quiet down. She leans back into him. Her breathing calms. She stands and moves the needle off the record. Bill rises behind her. He slowly turns her around to face him and kisses her forehead and cheek.
It's going to be okay.
How is it going to be okay? You have tuberculosis.
This has been part 1 of the Lake Dillon Theatre Company's online staged reading of House of Rocks by Melissa Livingston. Watch part 2 on Saturday, May 2nd, and part 3 on Wednesday, May 6th. Part 4 will be an online guided discussion with the Lake Dillon Theatre Company staff, playwright, and cast of this virtual production, released on Saturday, May 9th. If you'd like to take part in this virtual talkback, please leave your question or thoughts on the play in the comments section below, or email us at questions@lakedillontheater.org. Don't forget to subscribe and check out www.lakedillontheater.org for all of our online content.